success with Tanya because she stayed, right? But I'm nervous that we allocate based on a person rather than maybe we come up with an equation that is the person, the people in the pharmacy, the pharmacist, the pharmacy techs, the space that's more broad, so that when there's flexibility and movement, we still continue to say this time is being used towards HIV, but it's not specific to a person. Like, that's the way I'm leaning, but I would really want to hear, like, on the ground level, does that make sense? Or do you have a different idea?
Does somebody, Vika, do you want to take that on?
I personally like that idea, Shauna, because let's say we dedicate only one person and that person is not here, and it's really hard for all the staff members to know. And I think everybody should know, and I like that idea.
I'm in agreement. I think you could have like the designation between technicians and pharmacists.
So with that being said, I mean, one of the challenges about that is that we will have, I mean, Vika, you know that you have to train your pharmacists and your technicians for them to know how to do that.
Yes, I think it works out better if they all have general idea, because let's say, for example, the technician typing and they don't know what's Ryan White or what medications that should bill under Ryan White. And this happens in the past, and it's went to the patient, and there's a copay. Patient got upset because they didn't know how to deal with it, and I can't oversee like 4 or 5 people what they do, and when it comes to me, there was a problem. So I think everybody should have a general idea on how to do. This program.
Well, and one action item, Michael, could be that program and pharmacy put together a basic onboarding for the Hilltop Pharmacy. So pharmacists maybe get a little more in depth and the techs get a little bit less, or if I say it differently, the techs get more practical stuff, right? And then the pharmacist gets more history or background. But it's like a little package so that you're not recreating it every time someone comes up with the basics of Ryan White, 340B savings. Here's the policy when meds are not covered. This is what you do, so that you guys just have it as an onboarding package. And then maybe we review that on an annual basis or every 6-month basis to make sure it's up to date. Like that would be like a Kendria role. But I think that would make it easy so you're not recreating it every time you bring somebody on board.
Well, one of the things that I may say about that is that I do like the idea. So that way, if somebody leaves, it's not attached, it's not attached to that name. Then where we have to recruit. But my concern though would be when do we then allocate, with Kendria allocate like 1.0. So, do we use that as a 1.0 FTE from the pharmacy, 0.2 to so we can share it. We can say for all of the staff members that are working, let's say we have about 4 or 5, with staff members that are working there, we can do that 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, to make it 1.0 or something of sort to make sure that we are able to get that number of FTE.
Right.
Yeah.
No, to break that up. Yes. So let me ask you this question with the 1.2 from the grant are they being paid to dispense there or to do interventions with the patients?
The 1.0 tech is in the pharmacy, and the 0.2 is a clinical pharmacist who's up in the clinic with me doing med reconciliation and annual med reviews.
Got it. Okay, great. So they're doing like an an MTM kind of process, and the farm tech is dispensing in the pharmacy. Okay, gotcha. So I'm wondering, and I don't know this. I'm not a pharmacy expert here, but I'm wondering, is there a methodology a standard methodology that pharmacies utilize to calculate their dispensing fee to cover costs? Like I was thinking, could we do a ratio that says maybe in a year the number of HIV scripts over the total scripts filled at CHC, then that would be over the cost of the staff, fringe, space, supplies, maybe indirect for the pharmacy. I would take out the drugs in this, like your purchasing of drugs, because you're trying to recover the labor costs and the space cost of your program. That could give us, well, first of all, the scripts over total scripts could give us a percentage that we then could apply to the total cost. And that may be 8%. I don't know. It may be 8%, and that's what would happen then on a monthly basis, is that whatever percentage we determine is the percentage that is billed to Ryan White that goes back to pharmacy. And however pharmacy deals with that on their budget, if you want to do 2 across the pharmacist, that is pharmacy's role in crafting that budget based on the fill data. I'm just putting that out there.
I think that's what's happening, Michael, on that JV80 already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think you're right, but we're not sure what that 8 is.
Yeah. And then we also had in our former tracking tool, we had like supplies and all of that, I think, is booked on that JV80. So maybe when we talk to finance today, if they can pull one of those up, that might be helpful to review in further detail. The other thing I just wanted to chime in on is I think that is what you're saying is the best solution, because if not, then, and folks are on the grant, I think that 0.2 times 5 is a lot of time and efforts. So just to be mindful, if we are putting folks on the grant in that capacity, looking at our time and effort and how that has to be tracked, and not based on ideals, but actuals for the time and effort. So,
and in reality, I would imagine that the Michelle type farm tech is not working 100% on HIV.
Correct.
Right. So
you're right about that.
She's filling other scripts.
Yes.
So that is not allowable under the grant. It has to be solely dedicated to the grant, where the Danielle type position, while she's in the clinic, she's probably doing 20% of her time in the clinic, and the other 80% might be down in the pharmacy or whatever.
Exactly. That's correct.
Yeah. So I see that, and then I see that 8% hitting the line, and I'm wondering, are we paying for Michelle twice? Because we have Michelle on the grant at 1.0, and then we have that